Welcome to Host Ghost Stories. This is the podcast where we do quick ghost stories and you decide if the ghost story is true or fake. Tonight, I'm going to tell you something a little bit personal. Okay. So, I'm calling this the 200-year-old home episode. So, I bought this house about a year ago. From the moment I stepped inside, I knew it carried a history far older than anything I could see, It sits in a very small Midwest town. It's almost too quiet out here, and the home itself is nearly 200 years old, built not long after the county was even established. The kind of place where the walls feel like they've been watching, listening, and waiting. For security reasons, I won't say where, but at first it was pretty subtle, like things, the kind you try to explain away. You'd hear footsteps. They were slow, deliberate, moving through the house when no one else was there. The wood would crack and pop like old houses do, but sometimes it didn't sound like settling. It sounded like moving or movement, like pacing. Every night without fail, I would hear footsteps running up and down the stairs. Not walking, running. I remember lying in bed, clutching my blanket, heart pounding in my ears, telling myself, tomorrow, I have to sage this house. Tomorrow. And I did. I saged, I cleansed, I took control as quickly as I could. The previous owners told me the house wasn't haunted, that they had never experienced anything unusual. Maybe that was true for them, but with my gifts, spirits don't stay quiet. For a while, they came through often. Not all of them were negative, just some wanted to be seen, acknowledged. One night during a live with the other hosts, I was sitting in my upstairs office when I saw her, a young girl, standing right in front of my desk. She wore a white dress, old-fashioned, and she wasn't transparent. She was in a shadow. She was pretty solid, as real as you or me. I didn't panic. I looked at her and I said, I acknowledge you. Can I help you with something? She didn't answer. She just looked around, curious, almost lost. She stayed for 2 days and then she was gone. She vanished. Like she had never been there at all. But not everything in the house is so gentle. After I moved my office into what I call the game room, right in the center upstairs, I saw something else. Something darker. He stood in the doorway near the steep staircase, just watching me. A tall, shadowed figure. He didn't move, didn't speak, but the air around him felt wrong. Cold, heavy, unwelcome. He would just stand there for what felt like hours, just staring. And then just like that, he would disappear. I didn't like him. Not at all. We've done EVP sessions here. I've gotten names, a woman and a man. From what I could piece together, something terrible happened not on this property, but near this property, maybe somewhere around 80 years ago. The woman, she unalived her husband. They say it lingers. People always ask me if it's the dolls. It's not the dolls. I keep everything saged, protected. But lately, something has changed. The last 2 nights, I haven't slept. The footsteps are back. But louder now. Heavier. It sounded like someone is walking through the house, opening and slamming doors. Over and over again. Violent. Aggressive. My home cameras keep going off every night between 1 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. Motion detected. Again and again and again. But when I check, there's no one there. At first I told myself it had to be a glitch. Maybe someone getting up in the night. Maybe a shadow. Maybe anything but what I was starting to believe But no one was awake, not a single sound from anyone in this house. I have 3 attics, old, cramped, hidden spaces. I can only access 2 of them. I checked, there's nothing there. No one. Nothing. Last night, my sister, who was in the next room, heard it too. The same footsteps, the same movement. She got up, went into my office, turned on the light, but it didn't stop. She turned on her TV, put on headphones, anything to drown it out. But the house didn't quiet down. It never does. At the same time, I was live on TikTok, laying in bed, talking to a handful of people when it started again. The noise building, it just grew heavier, louder. The cameras going off back to back, one after another. I tried to stay calm, tried to tell myself it was nothing, an electric glitch, something unexplainable. But deep down I knew. I finally got off the live around 4:30 a.m. I left the cartoons playing on mute, just so I could have some light, just so I wouldn't be sitting in complete darkness. And then I felt it. A hand, it touched my leg, clear, intentional. There was no mistaking it. I just froze. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Then I brushed it off, literally and spiritually. I rebuked it, said my prayers, forced myself to stay grounded until exhaustion finally pulled me away around 5:30 a.m. Today, it's quiet again. Too quiet. But something else happened. My roommate went outside for a smoke and then suddenly had a seizure. When his girlfriend called the ambulance, another one. He's okay now. Don't panic. Everything is stable. But the timing, the escalation in activity, you start to wonder, is it connected or is it just coincidence? I hope it's a coincidence, I really do. But the activity is picking up, and I'm not sure the cameras can keep up anymore. It might be time to reset everything, cleanse again, strengthen the protection, because whatever is here, it's getting louder. Stay tuned, and thank you for listening to Host Ghost Stories, or Harlot's Spook Talk, where you decide if this story is true or just another nightmare. Send your stories to harlotspooktalk@gmail.com, and as always, have a spooky night, ghosties.